I really need to learn how to keep my mouth shut, guys. So last video, I threw in this comment. Hey guys, so I think that's all the biggest news we're gonna hear for a while. I feel like from now on, stuff on the set's gonna reduce in quantity, so expect much less things to report. Next thing you know, we have a huge scene for the movie. And again, much like the video where I talked about the Autobot Reinforcements, spoilers beware, because I feel like this is actually like spoiler territory. This is actually something that tells you quite a bit about the movie. So yeah, we had a couple of videos filtrated from, the rest of the B set, where Optimus Prime Mortal Kombat manslaughter Scourge through a wall. Which, I mean, that's really cool. It's very reminiscent of the Bayverse days. So for those of you who were like, this movie doesn't have enough action, well, here you go, guys. That's awesome though. It's something Shred of G1 mixed with Bayverse, and honestly, I'm all for it. It's super cool seeing, practical effects in action, because nowadays everything's for the most part just CG, and that's very, kind of boring. So I'm glad, all the Transformers here are CG, but you know what I mean. It's nice that we are getting some, physical action. Kind of reminds me of Dark of the Moon when Ironhide crashed against the threats. It's something similar to that, but here it's like, we're actually seeing it unfold. So my guess is that while Scourge is running away from the Autobots, like I covered in my previous video where, I talked about the Autobot Reinforcements, at some point, Optimus Prime's gonna catch up to him, and he's gonna ram Scourge through a wall. And here, as you can see, we can see the footage. Oh, by the way, I should also mention it before I forget. This footage is brought to you thanks to TransFQC. He has been compiling all of these different footage that come from Peru and like putting them all in one simple video. So if you guys wanna, catch up and watch what's going on right now on the rest of the Beast set, go check out his channel, go subscribe to him, check out his videos, because he uploads almost daily, kind of like me, but not as cool as me, obviously. Just kidding. Thank you TransFQC for uploading this so we can all enjoy and analyze to hell and back. Also guys, I recently started a collab with Commoding Cam on his channel where we played the best game ever, Transformers Dark of the Moon Stealth Force Edition. It was hell. Make sure to go check out that video, it was lots of fun. And I plan to do more videos with him in the future, so go give him some support and demand for more Fire X Commoding Cam content on his channel. Yeah, that's gonna give me more ad revenue. Oh, cut that part out. Going back to the footage, Optimus Prime crashes through the wall, and then we got like the filming crew like inspecting the damage. They're both really battle damage here. I hope they keep the battle damage, after the whole fight is done and when they go back to vehicle mode, because something that I like so far in the Rise of the Beast continuity is that if, a character takes damage in robot mode, then they keep the damage in vehicle mode. Optimus Prime still has like the Scourge damage mark, the burn mark at the side of his truck. So that's pretty cool. That's a detail that I don't feel a lot of people are bringing up. And a few, hours I guess later, we get this follow-up scene where Mirage joins the fight. Now this reminds me a lot of Age of Extinction, in which Bumblebee also joins the fight kinda late. And speaking of Bumblebee, he hasn't been seen in the final battle at all yet. My guess is that the reason why we're seeing Optimus Prime, Scourge, and Mirage here is because the other Autobots are gonna be doing something somewhere else. Wheeljack, Bumblebee, and Arcee are gonna be doing their own thing. They probably have a side mission. Most Transformers movies is usually this way, where we have like the main event happening. For example, Lockdown fighting Optimus Prime, and at the same time we get the Dinobots fighting the KSI-trons. So my guess is that what's going on, it's something around those lines. And for obvious reasons, we still haven't seen any Maximals here, because, they're big CGI freaking animals. But yeah, Mirage shows up to the final battle, that's pretty cool. This whole scene that happened was basically the results of the preparations that I covered last video. Last video, I mentioned that they were building a wall that supposedly Optimus Prime was gonna crash through it. We knew nothing about Scourge, but it's nice that we finally saw it happen. There were some videos at night of Optimus Prime preparing to ram over that wall, and now it happened. We also have some clear images of battle damage Scourge and battle damage Optimus Prime. Optimus Prime looks pretty banged up, but oh my god, Scourge looks even worse. Look at the poor man. Oh, he looks so sad. Oh, that has to hurt a lot. I don't think Scourge will die from that. I think it's just like, you know, Optimus Prime rams Scourge over the wall and they both transform at the other side of the wall. I don't think that they're gonna kill the main villain, you know, by just simply ramming him in vehicle mode. And yeah, in these videos you can see they're hauling Optimus Prime over, same thing with Scourge, poor guy, they're pretty banged up. Another interesting piece of footage that I wanted to discuss was this footage right here that has been going pretty under the radar. Now, the whole topic of the Autobot Reinforcements is something that's very debated right now. Some people are saying that these guys are Autobots, some people are saying that they're not Autobots, they're civilian vehicles, even though it makes no sense that they're civilian vehicles. And, you know, some people already now are starting to spread my theory that these guys are Autobots, but they're Mirage's illusions. And they're, you know, purposely made to scare Scourge off, to, you know, have him be on the run. Because, I mean, there are arguments for them being Transformers and there are arguments for them not being Transformers. And now we have some new footage with these guys. As here you can see, we get this like scene right now and we see the vehicles that we saw in the Scourge chase. We get the extras walking around because they're trying to simulate that this is just, you know, a regular day in Peru. And then we get Optimus Prime slowly backing away. Which, according to the comments, you're not allowed to do that in this street, so Optimus Prime is already committing a crime. I'm gonna add that to the Autobot War Crimes video. Well, it's not a war crime, but he's breaking the law. And we see the vehicles that we saw, you know, earlier, like during the Scourge chase. We see like the Cliff Jumper look-alike, we see the Blue Beetle, we see the motorcycles, and it's very hard to tell what these guys are supposed to be. I find it very curious how Optimus Prime is backing off, like if he's not wanting to fight these guys, so like he's kind of almost afraid. It could be just me, but I don't know, like it's so weird what's going on right here. Maybe he's like, okay, these guys have, you know, this place covered. I'm gonna go back and, you know, rendezvous with the others. Maybe that's the case. But let's think about this. What if these guys are Terrorcons? If they are Terrorcons, that kind of makes sense, because then, you know, the context of the Blue Beetle being in New York is not that, oh, he's there to help the Autobots. It's like, he's there to kill the Autobots, because he's also a Terrorcon, and then he follows them all the way to Peru with, you know, reinforcements, Terrorcon reinforcements. And when you know, consider the possibility that these guys might be the bad guys, might be Terrorcons, then the whole scene when Optimus Prime was chasing Scourge is completely recontextualized. Because now it's not like the Autobots are pursuing Scourge. Now the context is probably Optimus Prime has been taken captive by the Terrorcons. Scourge and his fellow Terrorcons are like basically guiding Optimus Prime to I don't know, whatever place they're bringing him to. And Mirage is, you know, following in pursuit, trying to save him. A la Hot Rod from the 86 movie. So it's a very real possibility that these guys might actually be the bad guys, the KSI army of the movie. Because, I mean, it makes no sense for these guys who were supposed to be random vehicles in Peru to all of a sudden be part of the Scourge chase. But if we take the fact that these guys might be Terrorcons, then what we were seeing before wasn't a chase, it was a kidnapping. And Optimus Prime, the reason why he's backing down here is because he doesn't want to engage into a fight with Terrorcons, not while there are human civilians going around the area. And honestly, if these guys are the Terrorcon army, then that explains why in the chase scene, well, the quote-unquote chase scene, the cars were going kinda slow. There's a bit of debate as to how fast they were going, because in some videos, it looks like, you know, they're going fairly fast. They're going in pursuit of, you know, Scourge. But in other videos, it looks like they're going quite slow. Like, you know, they're just like marching through the streets. And if they're going slow, you know, alongside Scourge, then it's more likely that these guys are supposed to be Terrorcons. Of course, this is not confirmed. For all we know, these could be regular civilian cars, but now I'm a bit more leaning to the fact that they might be a Terrorcon army. Because I did mention that I wasn't sure if like the cars that were in front of Scourge were, you know, part of like the scene, or if they were just there to guide the vehicles through the streets. Now I'm thinking that they're actually part of the scene, and if they're Autobot Reinforcements, it makes no sense for them to be ahead of Scourge. But if they're Terrorcons, if all of these guys are Terrorcons, then it makes sense why they're going at a certain speed. It makes sense why they're not exactly trying to ram Scourge over. It makes sense why they're surrounding Optimus Prime and why Mirage was in such a hurry to catch up. Maybe Optimus Prime gets taken capture and then Optimus Primal and the Maximals go in and save them, because we do know that the Maximals are going to be part of the final fight in Peru. It's just, you know, since they're CGI, we're not going to see them physically. And it will also explain why in the scene where we see Scourge and Optimus Prime, you know, fighting in the streets, we see him, we see Mirage, but we don't see any of these guys present. Maybe the Maximals are, you know, keeping them busy. And Mirage is the only one that manages to, you know, catch up to Optimus and Scourge. There's a lot of like content here for us to think about, and you know, this scene plus the recent scene of, you know, the army just recontextualize a bunch of stuff that we previously assumed about the movie. So yeah, that's it for this video, guys. I have nothing else to say aside from those theories that, you know, the Autobot army may not be an Autobot army anymore, but a Terrorcon army. I don't want to say news are gonna slow down, because, you know, I said that last time, I said that yesterday, and next thing you know, huge battle scene next day. So, you know, who knows, maybe tomorrow we'll get like a huge scene with Beast Wars Megatron or whatever. I guess we'll have to wait and see. So I'm not gonna say, okay guys, no more news for like a week. I guess saying they're gonna slow down from now on. Nah. If anything, I think they're gonna keep going. So we'll probably get another huge fight scene tomorrow, or another huge reveal for the set, for the filming. Whatever news we get tomorrow, I'll cover it, if, you know, depending on how big it is, because if it's something small, like X character was seen in X location, then I probably won't cover it. But I feel like this is, you know, the type of massive news that a lot of you guys would like to know about. Don't forget to check out Trans FQC on his channel, where he has more footage. And I'll see you guys in the next video, which will probably be tomorrow, you know, all things considered. Bye guys. Anyways guys, before we go, shout out to our amazing patrons: TrueBlue712, Stitch Productions, Stephanie Bowler, Christopher Prime, Predaking Hunter Plays, Mario Gordon, Allspark Studios, Scrub Lordo, Epic Nin, and special thanks to our big bold patrons, Jordan the Great and X23, who donated a amount of money. I'll leave you guys to wonder how much they did. Thank you guys for your support, it's much appreciated. It helps me keep the channel running and feed Squeaker, and if you guys want to donate to our Patreon, link to it is going to be in the description down below and in the comments down below, along with the channels of my patrons, so you guys can go and check them out. I collab with some of them sometimes. Scrub Lord. And if you guys want me to shout you out, put a link to your channel, suggest your own videos, or collab with me in some of my videos or your videos, vice versa, doesn't matter. Link to our Patreon is going to be in the description down below and in the comments down below for you guys to check out if you're interested. But keep in mind that this is entirely optional. So yeah, thank you to my patrons for donating, and I'll be seeing you guys in the next video. Stay safe guys.